You wake up every morning believing you are free. You open your eyes, stretch, maybe drink coffee, scroll through your phone, and tell yourself you have choices. You choose your job, your breakfast, your car, your dreams. But what if I told you those choices were written for you long before you were born? If you're here, you already feel it. Something is wrong with the system. You can't name it, but you can sense it, like a faint vibration under the surface of reality. And if you listen closely, you'll realize it's the sound of the machine that feeds on your life. If you're here, you already feel something's wrong with the system. That's not an accident. That's your first awakening. You were taught that freedom means having options, but options inside a cage are still part of the cage. They taught you to work for money, not to understand how money works for you. And that's where the trap begins. When you were a child, you dreamed of possibilities. You saw adults rushing, sweating, arguing about bills, and you swore that one day you'd be different, that you'd earn enough to buy peace. But as the years passed, you realized the same pattern swallowed you whole. You studied, worked, climbed ladders, signed contracts, until one day you looked around and saw yourself standing exactly where they once stood. Invisible chains on your wrists, smiling like you're free. You tell yourself, it's just life. Everyone does this. And that's precisely how the trap hides itself, by disguising obedience as normality. Money, they said, is the reward for your labor. Work hard, and you'll earn more. But the harder you work, the deeper you sink. You spend your days trading hours for numbers that vanish overnight. You call it salary, but it's just managed debt, the illusion of progress created to keep you walking toward an invisible finish line. The truth is, they never designed money to make you free. They designed it to keep you chasing, because a man who keeps chasing will never have time to look up. There's a silent agreement written in the architecture of society. It whispers, stay busy, stay blind, stay grateful. The system rewards exhaustion and calls it ambition. It glorifies debt and calls it success. It sells you comfort, but invoices you for your soul. When you swipe your card, you think you're buying convenience, but what you're really buying is silence, the silence that stops you from asking why. In the early 20th century, when industrial empires began to rise, economists and psychologists joined forces for the first time. They studied how to make humans predictable. They learned that if you tie survival to money and money to emotion, you can control a population without ever showing them the cage. And that's when the modern money trap was born, not as chains and walls, but as an idea. Because ideas are stronger than prisons. They told you success is a staircase, that if you climb long enough, you'll reach the top. But they built that staircase in a circle. Every promotion, every new purchase, every small victory spins you back to the same starting point. A little older, a little more tired, but still applauded for running. You think you're getting ahead because the scenery changes, but the path never does. You may wonder, who are they? They're not a group sitting in a dark room counting your dollars. They are the system itself. The algorithms, the laws, the habits, the marketing, the collective hypnosis that makes you believe working for survival is the highest virtue. It's not a conspiracy, it's a design. A design so elegant that even those who benefit from it don't see the full picture. You were born into a story already written, one where school teaches obedience, media teaches comparison, and work teaches endurance. The perfect formula to keep you productive, predictable, and polite. And they call that maturity. When you stop questioning the system, they say you've grown up. But maybe growing up is just learning to carry your cage with pride. Money was never created as a tool of freedom. It was created as a mirror of control. Look into it too long and you'll forget your own reflection. They understood something simple. Humans don't chase money because they love paper. They chase it because it's tied to identity. Control the definition of success, and you control the direction of every dream. Every commercial, every billboard, every motivational video saying you can make it. It's all part of the same orchestra, composed to make you feel one step behind. Because when you feel behind, you keep moving, and movement keeps the machine alive. You are the engine, but they convinced you you're the passenger. At this point, most people stop listening. The idea that freedom could be an illusion feels too heavy. It shakes the foundation of everything we're told to believe. But you didn't come here for comfort. You came here for truth. And truth doesn't soothe. It awakens. That's the first crack in the wall. Awareness. When you realize your efforts feed a system that survives on your distraction, you start to see patterns others can't. You start to hear the rhythm behind the noise, the rhythm of ownership. They don't need to take your freedom. They just need to make you forget what it feels like. Once you forget, you become efficient. You follow rules without question. You exchange passion for paychecks, creativity for compliance, life for lifestyle. And they call that stability. You celebrate your chains because they're made of gold. But gold is still heavy. You were never meant to rest. The world you live in was designed to keep you in motion, to keep you busy enough to forget that you are standing still. It keeps you chasing goals that dissolve the moment you reach them, like sand slipping through your fingers. They invented the concept of progress to justify your exhaustion. And the more you run, the more the ground beneath you becomes quicksand, pulling you deeper into dependence. Your calendar becomes your cage. Your time is divided, sold, traded, until even your silence belongs to someone else. You think of freedom as the ability to choose your prison. In ancient times, kings ruled through swords and armies. Today, power rules through desire. They discovered that if you make people want their chains, you'll never need to fight a revolution again. The new monarchy doesn't wear crowns, it wears logos. The new kingdom isn't built with walls, it's built with debt. And the currency of loyalty is fear. Fear of losing your job, your house, your image, your worth. Because when fear controls value, you'll protect the very system that's feeding on you. The average person spends 40 years trading life for a salary. 40 years of alarm clocks, traffic, deadlines, and just enough entertainment to stay numb. And when they finally retire, they look back and realize they spent their entire freedom buying comfort for their cage. That's not an accident. It's architecture. The economy was not designed to collapse, it was designed to recycle. Every generation inherits the same game, wearing new colors, new names, but always built on the same foundation. A few own the board, the rest just move the pieces. If this truth resonates, share it. Awaken someone else. This is not rebellion, it's remembrance. You are not here to burn the system down. You are here to see it clearly, because when you see the pattern, you can stop feeding it. Think of how early they begin programming you. You enter school as a child full of wonder. You ask questions you imagine, but soon you're told to sit still, follow the line, wait your turn. The rhythm of obedience begins. By the time you're a teenager, you've already learned that silence equals approval, grades equal worth, and money equals survival. By the time you're an adult, you no longer need chains. You carry the system inside you. You're told to dream big, but only within the boundaries of debt. You're told to express yourself, but only through what you can afford. You're told to be free, but only if your freedom pays taxes. They don't force you to conform. They make conformity fashionable. The brands you wear, the opinions you repeat, the ambitions you copy, all engineered to make you believe you're unique while keeping you identical. You see the ads, the luxury, the endless parade of what you deserve, and you chase it thinking it's motivation, but it's bait. Desire is the leash that never breaks, and every time you think you're close, they move the finish line, because the real profit isn't your money, it's your attention. Every second you look away from yourself and toward what they want you to see, they win. The machine doesn't need your love, it only needs your gaze. The trap was never built with walls or bars. It was built with stories. Stories about success, failure, status, freedom, and purpose. And those stories are rewritten every day by the same institutions that sell you the cure for the poison they create. You're told to invest in your future, but no one tells you what that future is made of. Because if you knew, if you truly saw the structure beneath, you'd realize your investment was the fuel for their illusion. Every empire hides its chains in plain sight. The Roman Empire used roads. The industrial empire used machines. The digital empire uses algorithms. You are no longer a worker. You are a data point, a variable in a formula of profit. Every swipe, every search, every moment of attention is calculated, predicted, monetized. They don't need to know your secrets. They just need to know your patterns. And with every click, you tell them exactly who you are. They built a mirror and called it progress. But when you look into it, you don't see yourself. You see what they want you to become. And the deeper you stare, the more your reflection starts to talk back, whispering, "Keep going. You're almost there." Almost where? Nowhere. That's the beauty of the trap. Its roads lead everywhere and nowhere at once. Every generation inherits the illusion of choice. They pick between red and blue, left and right, rich and poor. But the strings are always tied to the same hands. And while you argue over the color of the curtain, they write the script behind it. Freedom becomes theater. And you, the audience, applaud your own confinement. The illusion of freedom is the masterpiece of control. It tells you to chase independence while selling you dependence. It makes you believe your opinion is power, while every choice you make feeds the same core. You vote with your wallet, not your will. You serve with your time, not your passion. And every win you celebrate is already priced in the system's balance sheet. But somewhere inside you, a voice still remembers. It speaks quietly, between thoughts. It says, "This isn't what life was supposed to be." That voice is not rebellion. It's memory. The memory of what it felt like to live before the chase, before the metrics, before money became your mirror. And if you listen closely enough, you'll feel it calling you back. Not backward in time, but inward. That's where freedom begins. In the space between awareness and obedience. You begin to see the pattern now. The world isn't collapsing, it's performing. And every performance needs an audience. You were never meant to question the script. You were meant to clap at the end and call it success. But what happens when the applause stops? When the lights fade and the actors leave the stage? You stand alone, surrounded by props that no longer matter. A car, a title, a house, a balance sheet. All trophies of a race you never chose to run. That silence you feel after the applause, that's the sound of truth. The truth is quiet. It doesn't sell. It doesn't trend. It doesn't scream to be noticed. It waits. And when you're tired enough of noise, it whispers, "Now you can finally listen." Listen to what? To the realization that you were never poor because you lacked money. You were poor because they convinced you that wealth equals numbers. Real wealth is time. Real wealth is attention. Real wealth is the ability to wake up without needing permission. They can take your job, your title, your savings, but the moment you take back your attention, the system begins to starve. They called it the economy, but it's not about money. It's about motion. As long as you keep moving in circles, the gears keep turning. They don't care what direction you run, as long as you keep running. And when you finally collapse from exhaustion, they call that retirement. The ceremony where you celebrate being too tired to continue. They hand you a watch as if time was ever yours to begin with. Look around. Every city shines at night like a motherboard. Billions of windows glowing. Each one a tiny cell of the same organism, the economic machine, humming quietly, feeding on human minutes. You can almost hear it breathe. You can almost feel it think. It doesn't hate you. It doesn't love you. It simply consumes. Because consumption is the closest thing this system has to worship. When you were young, you asked what the meaning of life was. As you grew older, you stopped asking. You replaced meaning with maintenance. And you call that maturity. But deep down, something in you still remembers the question. Something in you knows that existing isn't the same as living. That earning isn't the same as evolving. The system fears that question, because every time you ask why, it loses a little more control. Now look at the concept of debt. They tell you debt is a financial tool, but debt is not about numbers. It's about obedience. It's a leash disguised as opportunity. You hold one end, but they hold the other. Debt keeps you polite. Debt keeps you predictable. Debt keeps you employed. A free man questions. A man in debt prays, and the system thrives on prayer disguised as payment. You think the trap is made of greed, but it's not greed that built it. It's faith. Faith that the system works. Faith that effort equals reward. Faith that tomorrow will justify today's pain. That's why they don't need to force you to believe. They just need to keep you hoping. Hope is the most sophisticated currency ever printed. It costs nothing to make but buys everything you have, so you keep hoping. For the promotion, for the market rise, for the day you'll finally make it. But hope is the perfect substitute for freedom. It keeps you moving toward a horizon that keeps moving too. You've been sold a sunset that never sets. Now the cracks begin to show. You start noticing how the system feeds itself, how news and fear work hand in hand, how crises are profitable, how chaos always seems to benefit someone. You start seeing that control isn't about ownership, it's about direction. They don't need to own you, they just need to decide where you look. Distraction is the cheapest form of domination. And when someone tells you, that's just how the world works, you can finally smile. Because now you understand what that sentence really means. That's how the world was built to work, for them. But the moment you see the blueprint, you stop being part of the architecture. You become the architect. That realization is dangerous, because one awakened mind can shift the balance of an entire system. That's why they flood you with noise, entertainment, outrage, and endless opinions. Because silence is where rebellion begins. Pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel that weight in your chest. That's not fear, that's awareness trying to grow wings. The world you see isn't broken. It's functioning exactly as designed. And design can be redesigned. But before you can change the world, you must first see the strings attached to your own hands. That's the first act of rebellion. Noticing. Every great illusion needs believers, and the money trap survives through faith. Faith that paper equals power. Faith that effort equals worth. Faith that tomorrow will be different if you obey today. But you're starting to wake up. And waking up is dangerous, because once you open your eyes, you can never close them again. You can no longer unsee the pattern, no longer unfeel the weight of your choices. And that's where the illusion of freedom begins to crumble. You start asking, if I'm free, why do I feel trapped? If I'm successful, why do I feel empty? If I'm winning, why does it always feel like I'm losing time? Because deep down you already know. Freedom without awareness is just another form of control. And that awareness, the moment you truly see, is where the next revelation begins. You've seen the surface. Now you're ready to go underneath it. The world you know is not the world that exists. It's the version they sold you. Every rule, every metric, every price tag was designed to keep the illusion alive. You believe money measures value, but in truth, money measures obedience. It's a scorecard for participation in a system that profits from your belief in it. The invisible system doesn't ask for your vote. It asks for your attention, because attention is the new currency of control. Every headline, every post, every limited offer is not information, it's instruction. Instruction to feel something, to want something, to buy something, to fear something. And each reaction feeds the network of influence that runs deeper than any government ever could. Because when you control emotion, you control economics. And when you control both, you control reality itself. Look closer at the architecture of this machine. It's not made of gears or wires, it's made of beliefs. Beliefs repeated until they harden into facts. Growth is good. Debt is normal. Security is success. These are not truths, they're mantras. The system doesn't need you to understand them, only to repeat them. You might think your job is about productivity. It's not. It's about predictability. The system doesn't need creative minds. It needs consistent behaviors. So it builds walls made of routine, rewarding those who never look beyond them. You were taught to fear uncertainty, because the moment you embrace it, you step outside the equation. There's a reason the word credit comes from the Latin credere, to believe. Because credit isn't built on numbers, it's built on faith. Faith that the system will hold. Faith that paper equals promise. Faith that tomorrow will come. But faith can be weaponized. And when belief becomes obedience, you've stopped living, you've started performing. This is the invisible system, a web so vast that it no longer needs guards. Every law, every slogan, every algorithm works as one silent orchestra playing the same old tune. Stay busy, stay blind, stay grateful. You don't see the conductor because you are the conductor. Your fears keep the tempo. Your hopes keep the melody. Your silence fills the gaps. Remember the last time you felt truly free? You probably can't. Because freedom isn't part of the business model. Freedom can't be taxed, tracked, or monetized, and that makes it the most dangerous form of wealth. That's why the system sells you substitutes, status, gadgets, luxury, validation, things that feel like freedom but fade like smoke. They don't want you empty. They want you full of almosts. You see, the true currency isn't money. It's attention converted into trust, trust converted into action, and action converted into control. The empire doesn't need soldiers anymore. It has subscribers, it has followers, it has consumers trained to call their own reflection purpose. And the deeper you stare into that reflection, the more you forget who is watching who. There's a line between a